Okay, so we're going to do a video on hollow belly frogs, whether it be the live target, the spros, the booyahs, just a few tips and tricks on help you catch more fish. So, first off, I was going to do this video yesterday. I forgot to, and the funny thing is one of my buddies on Facebook sent me a video of Gary Klein doing almost the same exact video that I'm going to do right now. So, I want to show you the two things that might help you catch more fish, and I'm also show you something new that I just learned last night that Gary Klein talked about, and hopefully that'll help you catch more fish. So first off, when you buy your frog, whether what brand it is, doesn't matter, they always come with these legs, and they're usually a lot longer. Usually people will take a pair of scissors and they'll trim them straight across, you know, whatever length you want. I usually like them short, but not way too short, just because a lot of the fish short strike your bait when they are a little too long. A good thing to do is, if you want to walk the dog with your frog, to cut one side longer or shorter than the other. So these ones are almost identical in length. We'll cut with a pair of snips or a pair of scissors. We'll cut off about ½ an inch of a frog, so he's going to be able to walk the dog a lot better, just because that's a little bit different length of his leg. That's one of the ways that I've caught a lot more fish, and I can walk the dog if I'm in more open water or fishing on the side of lily pads or hydrilla. When it's when you're fishing straight on lily pads or you're fishing straight on hydrilla, I don't really think it makes that big of a difference, because I think it's more of that plop. When they hear that hit the water, they'll come up and they'll hit it. More open water, I think they see that leg action, they see that moving, that's what triggers the strike. The second part was you got so many different color frogs, so many different color skirts as far as their legs go, and sometimes you want to change it up. Sometimes the fish want something different, you don't have it, but you can take a regular old Sharpie. And what I did with this, it's one of the white spro poppin' frogs, is I colored his leg. I put little bands. It might not look like a lot to you, but in the water, that's going to give it a little bit more color. It's going to make the bait look a lot more lifelike, a little bit more vivid, I think, especially when all these legs are in the water and they're moving around and everything like that. It might increase your strikes. Just that little bit of color might piss that fish off just enough to eat your bait, while if he didn't have it, he might pass it. So basically all I'm doing is putting little bands on his legs, something a little bit different. You can do it with whatever color Sharpie you want, and it just gives it a little bit more vivid color, I think. A little bit more depth to that bait. You can do it to the legs, you can color on the bottom, whether it be yellow, chartreuse, pink, whatever color you want. I like to usually keep my baits either a white belly or like a yellow belly, you know, something more natural, because that's the most colors of all your frogs around here. We have leopard frogs and bullfrogs here in Florida, so we try to keep everything the way those frogs look. The top of the frog doesn't matter. The fish is not going to see that. The fish isn't going to see it. It can be bright, hot pink. They're still going to eat it as long as that belly is either white or yellow. Not saying they won't eat anything else that is black on the bottom, because I have caught a lot of fish on the black frog, which is the spro. I like the spros the most, just because they go through lily pads more, or better than any other frog. They don't flip upside down and get caught up as bad. They slide through. I don't know if it's the material or just the way they're shaped, but they go through a lot better than the live target does. Well, I like this more on hydrilla because it makes a lot louder plop. Anyways, the third trick that I just found out actually last night when I watched Gary Klein was, when you look at your frog brand new, they got these frog hooks, and you see they're really springy, which apparently isn't good. And now that I think about it, it makes sense. When a fish bites it and you set the hook, if all that weight's on that one hook, that's going to bend. That's going to give. You're not going to get that good of a hook set. So what Gary did was he took his hook out and he wrapped it with braid. It doesn't matter what pound test. I use 50 pound, and I just wrapped it. I gave it a good wrap, and then I did have super glue. I'll take a little bit of super glue. I missed a little part because it's starting to come undone. Take a little bit of super glue and just dab it on there. And it's not going to go anywhere. And what that does, it's going to make that hook stay in one piece. I mean, it doesn't spring like it did without it. So now you're probably going to get a lot better hook set, and you're not going to lose as many fish. Just like last night, I hooked one with that exact frog, and the hook came out. So we're going to give this a shot tonight. All you're doing is, I just tied a regular knot at the bottom, and that's wrapped it all nice and tight, and then do a knot at the very bottom on that just to tie it off. Trimmed it and hit it with super glue. So hopefully that works. I'll have a report up on it on Facebook and Instagram. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on YouTube, and hopefully I can help you out. And hopefully all of this that I just talked about helps you out a lot as far as cutting your legs, color and everything, and doing the hook thing that I just personally learned last night. Take care and good luck.